Hi, my name is Richard Louis Perri. I grew up in New York in a town called Rockville Center, which is out on Long Island. I came to San Francisco with flowers in my hair in the 60s. I guess it was meant to be. It's something that I always loved and always enjoyed. As a kid, I used to leave school so that I can get home and draw with John Nagy on television. John Nagy had this program, Learn to Draw. And from that, he was this really cool looking guy, had a beard and everything else. And it's just the whole scene of making pictures and making art really inspired me to move on ahead as much as I could. So been doing it as long as I can. I work primarily in oil paint, although I do use other media. I draw and I do pastels and create things, graphically and all different things. But my main focus is oil paint. I found out about the Muni Art project through a friend of mine. He sent me an email describing of the announcement. And I used to go out to the field where streetcars were all abandoned. And I would go and sneak in there and sit down and paint. And actually there was one time I was in there, I was painting, and a Munich car came in and I thought, oh no, I'm busted, man, because I snuck in through the fence, right? So nothing I could do except continue to paint. So I was there painting and the guy got out of the car and he came over and I just looked at him and I said, oh, these things look so sad because they're all broken down, the windows are broken and everything else, but they were great objects to paint. And he goes, yeah, and he says, I'd much rather have you here than the other people that hang out. He says, just go for it. And at that time, he was the head of the historic cable car and streetcar division, and he just encouraged me to carry on. And we thought about getting something together, but it just sort of disappeared over time. So this was another opportunity. I thought, maybe I can get in on it this way through the Muni Art project. It was great because I felt, okay, now I have a chance to do and show the kind of work that I did with regards to these streetcars and the opportunity to also present my pictures of different places in San Francisco that a lot of these buses and streetcars go past all the time. How did I learn my craft as an artist, you ask? It was a day-by-day process. Like I said, I used to just cut school so that I can draw. I learned from private artists. I learned by myself. I went to the San Francisco Art Institute and studied there as well. And I just did it over, just every day. I'm always involved in it. If I'm not producing, I'm thinking about it. So it's something that's on my mind all the time. My inspiration comes from various things. I guess what inspires me the most is the fact that I live in a beautiful city and I like to paint pictures of the city. I was also known as a person who paints the history of San Francisco. So I just love being here. I love the atmosphere, I love the light, and I'm inspired by the subject, I'm inspired by the people, and I'm inspired by the whole art scene here in San Francisco. It's something that is a great fit for me. Was it a challenge for me to express the poetry? Well, I know Lawrence, or I knew him. I actually did a painting of him, a couple, portrait and stuff, and participated in a couple of shows with him. Was it a challenge? Yes, because his work, his poetry is very ephemeral. It's very out there. But I also recognize that it's an expression of how he feels about San Francisco, and it coincides with how I feel about San Francisco in my way and in his way. So I found that it was an opportunity as opposed to, it was a challenging opportunity, and I felt compelled to follow through with it. It was great. I really enjoyed doing it. First time I heard about San Francisco Beautiful was through the ad, the call for the artists. Prior to that, I really had no idea that it was around. But I'm glad that I did, because it's a great organization and it's a great opportunity to be able to participate and to contribute to the valuable work that they do every year by combining the artists with the poets, with the Muni. It's a great opportunity. I really feel part of it. I'm really blessed that I had this opportunity. I think San Francisco is probably the mecca for art and inspiration, and at least for me and for lots of other people. And I look forward to producing and continuing on with my art as long as I can. You know, that's what I do. People ask me, have you painted all your life? And my response is, not yet.